Morning, guys. Like Yachts here, Raptor Freak. Andrew, let's go. I'm wearing my champion shirt, wearing my champions hat. Because we beat the champions. That's how it works, right? We're the champs now. Woo! All right, Paul B. We needed that. Let's build on it, keep a streak going. You know what? I was just looking at the schedule, Paul, and the schedule looks like we could get a couple of these. The next game's a tough one because it's Washington, but we've already beaten them. We've proven we can beat them, and we've got a little bit of a going on with them. But after that, we got OKC coming up, and we just saw what OKC got done to them by Memphis and New York. And, there's a couple of teams that are kind of, susceptible coming up on the schedule. So we could get a nice little home streak going right now. Like, this is a good start to a good home streak right now. Beating the Milwaukee Bucks, the NBA champs last night. I don't care Giannis didn't play. We didn't find out till 30 minutes before the game, and the team had to readjust. And I love what I heard. It's like Scotty went up to Nick Nurse and said, well, I wanted to guard Giannis, but since Giannis ain't going to be here, Coach, can I guard Khris Middleton? Scotty's the best, and he did a good job on him and stuff like that. It was a very interesting game last night. I was very scared that we were going to end up losing this game, no matter after all, because the refs did do some dirty shit near the end of the game with the foul counts. They put them in the penalty really quick last night, and if they had gone to the basket more and played more physical with us on their offense, they would have been going to the line even more. But they beat us in foul shots attempted way higher. We got way more fouls called on us, and they were manipulating the game a bit with the foul counts on our main guys. Look at what Pascal had to do because he got 5 fouls pretty early. And then Precious, how early he fouled out. No, wait, Precious didn't. Who fouled out? Which one of the two of them fouled out? Okay, Siakam fouled out, but Precious and Scotty were also in foul trouble to a degree also. Scotty was playing with 5 fouls in the fourth quarter. It could have fouled out at any moment too. So the recipe for disaster was there. We had played a solid effort all game. The refs were kind of on the sly, helping Milwaukee. At 5 minutes to go in the game, they had 5 team fouls already. We had 5 team fouls already where they would be on the line in the bonus, and it was the reverse. They only had 1 team foul on us, but they made up a couple of team fouls really quick, and it didn't matter in the end. Thank God. But they had a lot of opportunities. If Connaughton made that 3-pointer, that would have been really bad. We would have been in rough shape because the momentum would have gone really strong on them, and they might have been able to close us out. So we did a really good job of managing the game at the end. Fred did a wonderful job of making sure that this team did not lose last night because that was a very strong possibility. Milwaukee really wanted to try and come back at us. You could see Khris Middleton really wanted this win last night on his own, and you could tell he was really frustrated and upset that they couldn't beat us without Giannis. They wanted to prove something. And they also realized some things about our team, I think. They came in and they saw that this Raptors team isn't exactly the same kind of Raptors team that they're used to playing against. And in some ways, it's scarier. It's scarier than the teams from before. And I think Middleton saw the future, seeing Scotty Barnes out there with Precious Achua, with Pascal, and all the different things that were going on. The synergy yesterday was beautiful. Oh my gosh. The passing, the different things that were going on yesterday. We looked like a capable team. We did things that were just right. Yes, Scotty, Mr. 50% shooting. Oh my gosh. And I love that he's making more than 1 3 now. His shot looks really nice when he lines it up and he shoots it in rhythm. It just goes whoosh and whoosh, right through. Scotty's the real deal Holyfield, and this man is going to be messing up teams in this league really soon as he figures his stuff out more, because his will of his way, he can get his shot whenever he wants. He can back people down and shoot over them like he does, or he can just if they lay off of him, he'll just shoot the 3-pointer, or if they do come and try and guard him too close, he'll go around them and go to the basket. He has so many weapons, so many options. And he's so raw and green that we got to let him ripen a bit. We got to let this kid marinate in the newness of being in the NBA. And the sky's the limit with this dude. He's going to be able to do some amazing shit in his career. I really see it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. G, good morning. Pascal and Barnes passing each other much better. Oh my gosh, really a lot better. Like anybody who was worried about them not playing well together or getting along, you have to watch the last couple of games and see how they're passing with each other. And that one pass where there was the extra pass that Scotty made it to Pascal, so he made the shot. That was beautiful because that was a fast break and it was really quick. And Scotty, in that split second, had the choice to be selfish or unselfish. And he chose unselfish, and it was the right choice because it was the easiest basket. And some of the breaks last night were beautiful. This stuff with Precious going to the basket and dunking off of Fred. There was so many good things that were happening. We didn't shoot really well again last night. And thankfully, Milwaukee didn't shoot very well last night because this game could have been a lot different. We honestly need the other team to struggle to a certain amount and a degree for us to have a chance to win right now. Like, we're not playing perfect basketball yet, so we can't play against perfect basketball. Like, if Milwaukee was playing a lot more perfect last night, we would have had trouble last night. So it really is, we need to be playing against teams that have to struggle a bit. And maybe we manufacture that struggle for them by playing really good defensive pressure and just irritating them and not letting them get any good open shots. Because Milwaukee shot horrible last night. We did a really good job messing up their outside shots, like Connaughton and Middleton really shot poorly last night for most of the game. Portis was 3 for 11. Connaughton was 2 for 7. I don't even know this Allen guy who played last night. Grayson Allen, 4 for 10. Nothing too special from their shooters over there. They didn't get going at all. And they maybe thought like, we're gonna rest Giannis. He'll be fine. Toronto's really struggling, but boy, did they open the door for us to come and like say, hello, it's the Raptors. We're still here. Okay, let's keep going. Giannis is almost 27. What is Scotty going to look like at 27? Oh my gosh, Paul, what a thought exercise. That's 7 years from now, guys. That's 7 years from now. I think that his development is way ahead of Giannis. If you think about where Giannis was at 20 years old, I don't even know if he was in the league yet or what was going on with him. Like, our guy is light years ahead of any other 20-year-old, any other player that was around 20 years old at that time. Honestly, like, if you look at what he's doing, you got to start looking at big-time names like Kobe Bryant and LeBron James and different people like that and what they did in their rookie year. Let's start comparing his rookie year to the big names' rookie years, because it's getting to be like that. And I don't know if this slight of not getting rookie of the month for the first month of the season was a motivator yesterday, but it could have been that Evan Mobley got that award that Scotty should have gotten yesterday. And the part of it is probably our record. It's probably that we're a losing team, and they factored that in, and they said, well, they're pretty even. Let's look at the record. And then they gave it to Cleveland's guy because Cleveland's record's a little bit better than ours right now. But it's the Canada discount once again. But that's fine. Let them have these stupid awards. We all know who the best rookie in the league is. And he really, if this is fuel to his fire, I'll take this every day. Slight Scotty a whole bunch, please. Because if he's going to get motivated and play like he played really well last night. There weren't a whole lot of like bad defensive mess ups, and there wasn't a whole lot of ugly turnovers. And he played solid fundamentally. Like, none of this silly shit like talking trash, turning around, stuff like that. Fred did really lead the way last night. He picked it up so much in the second half. They were stifling him like everybody has been doing lately, keying on him. The memo is out. NBA teams, you want to beat the Raptors, you really got to stop Fred VanVleet. Like the way that this is what the articles are saying. Do what people try to do to Steph Curry on the Golden State Warriors to Fred VanVleet on Toronto Raptors, and that's your key to success. You mess him up. But, at some point we made an adjustment at halftime, and Fred was able to run off of more screens and more different kinds of ways. Like, there was they keep playing this really cool fake handoff lately. If you notice, they did it with Scotty a few games ago where he did like a fake handoff to Delano at the top of the key where it really looked like he gave the ball to Delano, but he still had it, and then he got a dunk. Well, they did the same play last night with Fred. He did a fake handoff at one point, and I thought the ball kept going with the guy who ran with him, but he still had the ball, and he made that shot. So they did a really good job of freeing Fred up in the second half, and he took advantage of it, and he was a baller. Oh, my gosh. And the great thing about it was he wasn't trying to force his shot right next to the basket. If he got a chance to beat his defender, he would take it to the mid-range and make a really easy shot with room there. Or he would hit the outside shot if they gave him a little bit of room there. And I like that better because I feel like Fred, when he gets too close to the basket, he's really asking for it in some ways, in different ways. We know what they are, getting his shot blocked or just getting fouled and not getting anything, because that's the way it is right now. Take that easy bread and butter mid-range shot, Fred, because that shot is going in every single time. And it's so nice to see you beat the defense and just like, it's like a surgeon. You just cut through and just really intricate how you're doing it and just dissecting it. And then boom, you made the basket. And he really did carry our team in the end. Like, oh my gosh. Because, Gary Trent looked really off, like for his first game back. He really didn't shoot well last night. I mean, it was 3 for 16, 2 for 10 from the 3-point line. He made his first shot, which was great. We're like, oh God, thank God he's back. But then he didn't make another one for a long, long time, and he was missing a lot. And we didn't really count on him for what we were doing last night. It was, it was crazy. All right, let's keep going. Fred is proving he's an all-star. Fred should have been an all-star last year. If we hadn't gotten COVID, that 50-point game was huge from him last year. And I was saying he was an all-star last year, but we had a couple guys that were kind of equal, and they canceled each other out. But I thought Fred was the one who should have went for us last year. But they always talk about, well, Kyle's in the discussion, Pascal, they were even thinking a little bit about OG last year. But we need at least one all-star. Even if we're just a middling team and we're doing tough stuff like this, we deserve one all-star. We were a champion 2 years ago, NBA, and you need to get your head out of your ass and get a Canadian player from the Raptors. We're not a Canadian player, but a player from the Raptors in the all-star game, because you get the whole country of Canada interested in your all-star weekend. If you don't have Toronto Raptors participants involved in the NBA weekend, and I'm not saying just in the 3-point shootout, I'm not saying just in the dunk contest, I'm saying give us an all-star, because that will get your viewership around the world and in Canada up for the all-star weekend. Because in some ways, the all-star weekend is a joke. It's stupid in a lot of ways. Like, now that they pick the teams and stuff like that, it's like, what is this crap? I do like that they made it more something to play for with the charity stuff and the different rules and things like that. I do like that. They are making good innovations. But in a lot of ways, the all-star game is just stupid. And maybe we don't want our players to get on the all-star team because it's draining. You don't get that rest. It's not like it's a break for the guys who have to go to the all-star weekend. So maybe we just want all our guys to just be able to get a good rest during that period of time. So there's good and bad in it. He deserves it. We know he deserves it. And we'll see what happens when it comes around that time. But I really believe that you're right, Andrew, that Fred is an all-star. He was an all-star last year, and he's definitely an all-star this year because we need him so bad, and he's just doing so many crazy good things for us. So, you can see the chemistry developing. I know, man, and it's scary. We can see the future, and that's what was so nice about last night compared to Memphis or Boston in this week, is that our chemistry looked awful in the Boston and the Memphis games. But in this game last night, we saw a little glimpse of what is truly possible. Like, if you think about it, it's really nasty. The Raptors in transition in fast break is really nasty because they can pass this ball around everywhere and you don't know who's going to dunk it, and they can get up the ball really quick. Once we figure out these long court passes where we can possibly do crazy like alley-oops or almost alley-oops across it, there's all kinds of stuff that we're going to get better at with better synergy and familiarity between the players. And we saw some of it last night. It was beautiful. And I just loved how much passing was going on, how many, like, we were hitting open shots finally. There were good things happening last night. It was really, really a much needed home win against the NBA champions, the current NBA champions. And oh man, I know Giannis wasn't there, whatever. We didn't have OG and they didn't have DeMarcus Cousins, but we didn't have Cam, so there were kind of injuries on both sides that were kind of important. I know Giannis is super important, but come on, still. Let's keep going. Paul B said, well, if Gary didn't shoot 3 for 13, it would have been a Raptors blowout. I mean, if he had hit some more of those 3-point shots, there were a couple of other areas where we could have done a little bit better, where it would have been a lot better for us. the team stats were weird because we shot better than them. We got way more 3-point attempts than them and made 14 to their 11. They got way more free throw attempts than us. Once again, that's where the refs are on the down low manipulating the game because they got 25 free throws. We only got 14. And, we even missed a bunch of them. We shot bad there. We both got 47 rebounds, which is really good. The assists were fantastic. 23 assists for the Raptors compared to 16. And we only had 14 turnovers. They had 15. Our hustle stats were better. We had 17 steals and blocks, and they only had 8. And we beat them on fast break, and we beat them on the points in the paint. Like, honestly, I didn't think we'd beat the points in the paint for Milwaukee because usually they're a bigger team and stuff like that. But they beat them by 10 points down low. So all kinds of great things happening in that game. We just outplayed them and outshot them. And we won, thank God, because there's sometimes these kind of games that are kind of, especially at the end, if there's some manipulation and weird stuff going on, because those fouls, the foul shots for Portis at the end sucked. They were bullshit because they basically got a possession and then a second possession all of a sudden because of that. And one of the foul calls on Precious was bullshit too. So the little thing on the screen that they can call that on every single play, and it was such a crucial time in the game that you don't need the refs influencing the game at that point. Let the players decide who wins by who's making which shot and which. And don't put them on the line to help them like that. That's just, it makes me so mad because they won't do that for us. All right, let's keep going. I love this. This is a great day. Oh, glorious morning. All right, let's see. Andrew, Grayson Allen is the guy known for dirty plays and tripping players on purpose at Duke. Wow. Yeah, that guy, the kid who's playing shooting guards with them right now. Yeah, he's like a second year, third year player now. He hasn't been in the league that long. Yeah, okay. I'll be watching out for him. I mean, he wasn't really super factor in this game. He was guarded pretty well. He didn't make his shots. So, but yeah, dirty players, it's always good to know who's out there and who's doing what. And that was from college stuff. Yeah, he was 4 for 10. He had 10 points. Let's keep going. Masai is building a team full of mini Giannis's. Pascal, Scotty, and OG. I watched the Bucks telecast, and they were talking a lot about our wingspans. They were talking about, well, this is another guy who's got 7-foot long wingspan. They're a really long team in this way, going on and on about that kind of stuff. And really, really fair broadcasters, actually. The Milwaukee team, Marcus Johnson, he's an interesting player. He's played for the Bucks for a long, long time, their color guy. And he's funny, man. Like, because he's messing up the English language. He was calling Drew Holiday last night amphibious because he was trying to say ambidextrous. He called him amphibious. I was just like, what? You calling your guy amphibious? I don't know if that's the right words, is what he said. I'm just using words. I don't care. Yes, amphibious. But Drew Holiday, no joke. He was playing. He was balling out, man, last night. He was hitting every shot, and he was doing all kinds of stuff that he just wanted to do. I had found a newfound respect for Drew Holiday last night and what he was doing in the game last night. And Fred talked about it too after the press conference, that Holiday was balling last night, and he really was their driver last night. And he couldn't miss for a while there. It was crazy. Barnes' combined scores were crazy, and fourth most athletic wing within 21 years. His combine scores. Yeah. These guys they really are super talented, blue chip kind of athletes. These are dudes that are like super athletes. When you have this kind of size combined with speed and strength, it's just nasty. And there's like 4 of them on our team now. I mean, Precious, Scotty, Pascal, OG, these 4 guys can do it all in a way. Like, Precious can do it all offensively too, we're realizing more and more. In different little things. He gives little hints, whether it's making threes here or, just being able to drive to the basket all of a sudden. Sometimes I think he's better away from the basket, that he's too close to the basket, much like Fred, what I just said. Don't like Fred going all the way to the basket. Get mid-range, get three-pointer, and make those shots, because when you're getting down low, you're getting hit by 2 guys, and Precious looks really bad near the basket still. Like, he's still missing shots that are kind of, but man, that was ferocious. Precious was ferocious Achua when he got that dunk from Fred. That was so nasty. And it was, oh man, I really enjoyed the game last night. I really, really did. I hope all y'all did too, because we deserve this. And the funny thing is that some of these half-ass fans, not like us, not like anybody who's watching this, they probably took this game off and decided they didn't want to watch the game because they thought that, oh, Milwaukee is the champs. They're just going to kick their ass. So they probably missed out on a fantastic game to watch and then they saw the score later last night and they're like, what? The Raptors beat Milwaukee? And they're like, why didn't I watch that game? That's what I'm saying. Don't be fair weather because you might miss out on the gems. You got to be there for every game because we don't know when they're going to do some beautiful stuff like last night. It's so bellissimo. Like, oh my gosh, it was really good. Mobley was out for a week or so too. Yeah, this is the thing. Mobley was out, and I really think it was they're going to say their excuse is the records for the teams. Like, well, Toronto's record's worse than Cleveland, and they're pretty even. So, but it is a Canada discount in some ways. It is a way that they kind of want to quiet the hype. But I'll bet you money that Scotty will get the next one. Oh, yeah. He's going to get one, and he's going to get a couple of them probably before the end of the year. And there's only like 5 of them for the year or something like that. So I really think he'll get another one. Look at Sue. She's up, and she's so excited. She's cussing. They retracted your message from me, Sue. It must be not child friendly, although I'm like, let her cuss. She's happy. There's a great game last night. It's fucking right. Yeah. Paul B, 3 for 16 from Gary. Yeah. Well, listen, he sat for a couple of games. He's a little bit out of his rhythm again. We've seen that that's a thing with Gary. He can either be in his rhythm or he's not in his rhythm. At the beginning of the season, he wasn't in his rhythm yet. So I think it's just like that kind of thing where maybe just last night he'll have a hard time getting his rhythm, but maybe he's right back for the game on Sunday against Washington. So, and this is great. They got 2 days off right now. They can sit with this feeling, these good stuff. They have good tape to watch for the next couple of days of like successful, good things that they did. And they can hammer it home and really say, look, what you did here, right here, Scotty, was fantastic. It was perfect. If you do this every single time, we're going to be so good. If you do this, and like that's what they're going to do in the next couple of days. They're going to really look at the good tape from this game and some of the bad tape from the other games just before and really hammer home some of this good stuff that they're doing, because that's how the team builds off of it. Is they see the stuff like on the tape after the game and they try and mimic it. They try and get the same results somehow, some way, and stuff like that. I love it. Looked really good last night in a couple different ways. But like I said, Milwaukee had to struggle too for us to get that actual W. They could have been shooting really well and beat us still with the effort that we played and the level we played. So it's not all celebration yet because we got to be more efficient with our scoring still. And the defense was fantastic last night. Honestly, the defense was really, really good last night. I was really happy with it, but there were still problems with second chance shots at times. There were still times where they were getting the ball, the loose ball off the rebound on our end, on the defensive end, and they were getting second chance shots. And that's something we still need to clean up really bad. Good morning, Sue. I don't know what you said above there, but that's okay. Maybe it was something like fuck Brooklyn or something like that. I love it. Good morning. And, hey, let's have a great weekend. It's already starting great. I think Gary was still in pain. I think I saw him more stiff and less fluid. Morning, Sue. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that, like I said, he's hurting, and it's a little bit tough for him to get in his rhythm when maybe his calf isn't completely feeling pain-free yet. And I think you're right. That he came back a little quick because they probably thought Giannis was going to play, and he's like, we really need Gary at least if we're not going to get OG and Kem. And he came back a little early. And, we didn't see Gary as much later in the game in different ways, too, if you think about it. So maybe they realized that, like, they wanted to limit his minutes and maybe not let him, like, play too much. How much did he play last night? He got, like, 35. He still played 35 minutes. Oh, my gosh. We only got 8 points. It's too bad. Okay, Fred put us on his back last night. Good leader. Yes, Sue. He really did. He was the superstar last night. Pascal was doing a lot of really good things throughout the whole game. And then the team around that was doing really good things with Precious and Scotty at different times. And Yuta, I cannot understate what Yuta does for this team. He he hit two really big threes last night that really carry us and really get the crowd popping. And I thought the crowd did a good job of getting up and getting loud for the team last night. That really has been an Achilles heel for us last few games at home, where the crowd has just not had the right energy. And they really did last night. They really had the good energy last night. I love it. Fred had the nice scoop layup near the end. Yeah, that little scoop, the underhanded scoop is so fun. Like, and that's like that's totally like improvising in the moment for sure. Like the little scoop shot, that's old school stuff. And it was a wonderful play, and it was exactly what we needed at that time. We kept going because the cushion was getting smaller in the second half at times. Like, it got really close. They were only down by 2 with like 5 minutes to go, and that's scary as hell, especially when like the refs, you know that they're going to try and help them, and they did a little bit, but they weren't the deciding factor. And thank God we pulled out the win, because I would have been so depressed if we had had this great opportunity to beat the champ Bucks without Giannis. And there was no excuse. We needed to win this game last night. And if we had fallen apart at the end of the game and allowed them to steal that game back right at the end of the game, it would have been a big problem. It would have been a real big problem. So what we're talking about right here with Fred controlling the game, the pace, and not allowing them to come back on us is huge, because we're going to need this. And this was against a high caliber team for the most part. Now, you know, the Bucks in some ways aren't as good as they were last year. They really aren't. Without PJ Tucker and a couple of the pieces they had last year for the championship, I don't think this team is anywhere near as good as they were last year. And you can tell just by not having Giannis out there, you can tell that the supporting cast may not be as good this year. So we'll see what happens. But man, it's very disappointing how biased the NBA is. Even the official NBA ref site doesn't announce Raptors games. You know, they're it's just always been this way. Sometimes when we're younger and we watch basketball, it's very idealistic and we don't see all the dirty underside of it. It's always been this way in different ways. Like, the Raptors have been slighted since the very beginning. They've always had to do more to earn more respect or even get that chance, because in the beginning, they didn't think they had any fans that cared enough. That who would care if they got screwed over in this way? And that was true. There wasn't a lot of outrage in the very beginning when we get screwed over in different ways early on. I remember, because it was pissing me off, but nobody else would get upset. He's like, who cares? It's the Raptors. They're supposed to be shitty. You know, it's like, I just love that now there's more of us that really care and see it, and we can call them out for it now. More astute NBA fans that are Raptor fans that can call it out and see this kind of stuff. But this is just, like I said, the lay of the land. This is the landscape. This is just what the team has to deal with. And other teams in the league have to deal with this too. We're not the only one. There's other teams. Milwaukee on the down low gets treated like we do too. Like, as a small market team in some ways, they have treated Milwaukee poorly in the past. I've seen in games against big teams also. So their franchise gets a little bit of that too. But we do get it more just because we're the Canadian team. We're the one Canadian team. And there is really, like, in the marketing for the States, with all the NBA stuff, they don't include Raptor stuff in it for the most part. And they really do bias it in all kinds of different ways, like whether it's opposing announcers or anything. The way they talk about our team is very different than any other team. Like, we are kind of like the invaders. Like, in their eyes, they're all good guys on their teams, and we're like the evil bad guys. That's the way they like to paint it in American, like, sports, like, broadcasts. A lot of times is we're like the bad guys. We're the others. We're not. They don't talk about it as we're part of them. It's always us against them, and it's them against us. That's how they talk about it. So, but it's just the lay of the land. We just got to do it. The refs gave the Bucks 5 free throws at the end. Yeah, they were giving them free throws. They were trying to help them. And, you know, they missed a couple of them, thank God, but they got a chance to come back. If that Connaughton 3 had made it, that would have really hurt us, and we might have lost the game right then. Like, I was really holding my breath when he got that shot, and, like, thank God he didn't make it. Oh my gosh. The refs clearly have a mandate to not let the Raptors be successful again. If they can try and stymie them or frustrate them or do things like that, because half the time in the past, the refs could do that to us and take us completely out of our game, because we weren't mentally tough. Like, you know, those Bosch Bargnani years were a lot like that. Like, we'd get unfair calls then, and the guys weren't, like, it was before DeMar and Kyle came in and really steeled us as a personality as a team. These guys would get upset and it would take their heads out of the game, and they were shit for the rest of the game because they were like, well, what's the point? The refs aren't even gonna, like, they're being biased against us. What's the point? And they give up. Well, that's the thing. Kyle and DeMar came, they saw that this was happening, and they just said, we're going to go through it. We're going to make it, and we're going to overcome it. And that's what we have to do. It really sucks. And that's why it's all the more sweeter when we overcome that kind of stuff, because this shit was happening in the playoffs when we won the championship. You think about all the games against Philadelphia in that 7-game series, how much favoritism was shown towards the Sixers. And then even in the one with the Bucks, even though we started creaming them in the last 4 games when we beat them 4 straight, there was some favoritism there too. And they even had favoritism in the Golden State series too, with different ways that they were calling it and stuff. And it was, a lot of it was free throw discrepancy. And, it's just how it is. That's why we've got to play that much better. We got to be that much better. And in some ways that makes us more unstoppable. It makes us more tougher to beat because, motherfucker, we got to beat the refs too. And, if the refs aren't hurting us, we're going to beat y'all for sure. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, we just got to overcome it, Andrew. It sucks. We could whine and complain that it's the worst and it's unfair and stuff like that, but life's not fair in general, in different ways, in different areas. Things aren't equal for everyone. And that's just kind of how it is with this. And the more real we talk about it and stuff like that, maybe it'll get better. Because I have seen that the refs do little things to try and change things from hearing like, oh, like maybe they heard me talking about Ed Malloy and his little 50s referee gang and them, or it's talking about whatchamacallit, what's his name? I already forget his name because I don't even like the guy, the ref, Scott Foster, and these different things, they're cognizant and hearing what people are saying in the buzz of different things. And maybe they try and change perception in different ways by, oh, we're more fair. We do reviews or, stuff like that. But the whole thing, all right, the funny thing about the refs with last night was the whole thing with Pascal and the challenges. Like they saw that they called it wrong against Pascal when the Nick Nurse challenged it, and they reversed it, and they gave an offensive foul to the Milwaukee Bucks on that one. And Pascal, I could see him go up to the refs. He's like, finally, you guys got something right. I'm like, what, you guys, and then they turned around, and later in the game, the exact opposite happened, where Pascal got a foul put on him by the challenge, and then he fouled out. So it's a really weird thing that these challenges, it's kind of like, when do you want to change that momentum with the refs, where you're like kind of calling them out for being full of shit and call a challenge? Is like, do you do it early in the game like we did the other day with the Utah call, and then we didn't have a challenge for the whole rest of the game? Or do you wait to call the refs out on their bullshit at some other point in the game? Because it's really, that's kind of what the challenge is becoming right now. Call the refs out on their bullshit when they make a wrong call. And it's an interesting little part of the game right now, the challenge thing. It's really a strategic kind of thing. And I'd like to see Nick Nurse really, I love that he's protecting our guys and standing up for them when he calls these challenges, whether it's been the couple with Yuta since he's come back, or the one last night with Pascal with that one. Because it is a big change. Like, you're putting fouls on different people, and they add up. All our main guys had foul trouble last night, and we still did really well because the foul trouble started early too. And we had to think about putting guys on the bench at different times when we really didn't want to, like Pascal and Scotty. So, all right, Kenrick, good morning, man. Good to see you. Our bench is really trying to improve. Can't wait to have everyone, OG and Kem, back. Yeah, the bench is looking a lot better since Yuta came back. I think Yuta is a big part of it. Khris was playing really active and well last night. He had that dunk, and he had a couple of different things he did last night that were just good energy things that we really needed. Delano looked okay. He had 4 rebounds. 3 of them were offensive. 3 offensive rebounds from Delano Banton is a really good thing. And then Svi, once again, he didn't shoot the lights out, but he did have a 3 at one point that was really good. And, Svi pisses me off because I want him to be like a 50 to 60% shooter. And right now, 3 for 8 and 1 for 6 from 3-point line just isn't good enough for me. But he is getting all the other stats: 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. That's pretty good. But, the bench is a lot better. The scoring, let's look at the bench scoring compared to the 2 teams. Like, we had 12, 14, 21. We had 21 bench points, and they only had 13 bench points. Like, they didn't get anything off their bench. So that's good. All right, let's see. Paul B, if Vanilla Thunder Patty C, white men can't jump, had hit that three, I'd lost my shit. Oh yeah, I would have too. I would have been like, I mean, we could have still won and figured it out, but that would have made it a lot more stressful. And like somebody said on Facebook last night after the game, this is like the feeling that we had, like the stress of the games where we win a close game, but you're after the game, we're so like riled up and like tensed up because the game is so stressful that we can't even really enjoy winning the game because it was like, why is that so stressful? It's so nice in this period of Raptor basketball the last few years where it's like when we can cruise and we feel real confident in our team winning no matter what, even in a close game. And last night was a real nail biter. It was really stressful at different times for us. With the different things that could have happened in the last 5 minutes. The refs are straight up crow. I like the younger refs. I think the younger refs are pretty good. It's just the older guard that's still lingering around. The guys who probably should just like retire and take off. The guys who are from the other eras, because they're more corrupt, because maybe they're trying to really fix this in the NBA. They're trying to make the NBA a lot more fair. And I think the younger refs are better. Like whether it's the female refs or like just the younger male refs, you can tell that these guys seem more like on the up and up. It's these older refs that are a real problem. And two of them in particular this year that I really can't stand are Scott Foster and Ed Malloy. There's other guys that are pretty good. Like Washington's really good. And so is Rodney Mott. Rodney Mott is a fun ref. Like I feel like he's pretty fair for the most part. But and Mark Davis has been a problem at times in the past, but I think that he's gotten better too. Like he's not as unfair as he's been to us in the past. He's been a lot fairer to us in recent years. But man, Scott Foster, you need to retire. You need to go away because you sully the integrity of the NBA reffing in the league just by being there, just being around, because your name has been thrown around through the mud all kinds of different ways and all kinds of dirtiness. And we know you're dirty, Scott Foster, and you're holding on to your position because of your ego, and you should probably just leave, because if you leave, it'll help the integrity of the officiating in the league overall. I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah. Your little illegal betting ring on the down low. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see. Middleton jumped into Precious. Yeah, that offensive rule should have been in effect right there. They should have been in effect right there. You're exactly right. And that's one of those points where if we had held our challenge, we could have played the challenge then and probably gotten an offensive foul on Khris Middleton. But why doesn't the ref just call it right the first time? Come on, ref. You saw him doing an unnatural kick into the back of Precious, and then Precious got a foul. That was a messed up call. And that was part of the whole thing that we were just talking about. The refs manipulating the game or doing weird shit at the end of the game and stuff like that. Sue, I love the fire Yuta is showing coming off the bench. It's exciting. The enthusiasm, the intensity, the pressure, the doggedness, the all over the court, and I love the fact that he looks pretty automatic with his 3-point shot. If he's open, he's making that shot. He's not messing around this year. Like he really is getting that confidence that I love and I want to see from him night in, night out. And if he keeps building on this, he could be a really key guy for us near the end of the year. If we make the playoffs and we need big shots, it could be Yuta doing this kind of stuff. His growth as a player in the time that he's been with the Raptors has been humongous. He didn't grow like this when he was in Memphis. He didn't grow like this on other teams that he's been on in the NBA. It's been with us that he's opened the door and he's come around the corner as a regular rotation NBA player. And he really is there now. I think he's essential for us in some ways to be off of our bench for sure every single game. Like, I don't think we're going to see many games where Yuta gets a DNP. I think that he's going to be playing pretty much every single game if he's healthy for the rest of the year, because he's just so important in so many different ways. And he is infectious because the way that he plays rubs off on these other guys. And we need Scotty to play more like Yuta. The more Scotty plays like Yuta and gets influenced by Yuta and how he does, the better Scotty's going to be. I know it, because that infectious energy and enthusiasm and passion for playing the game and just getting out there and giving it your all. That's Yuta Watanabe personified right there. And I love it too, Sue. I'm so glad he's on this team. And he's an amazing person in a lot of ways. He really is an inspirational person. Like oh my gosh. Anyway, I could talk about Yuta all day. Drew is a gem off and on the court. Yeah, I don't know much about Drew Holiday. These Holiday brothers are interesting guys. They're all different levels of talent, and there's like 3 or 4 of them or something like that. They're all over the league. But Yeah, he really impressed me last night. Like some of the stuff that he was doing on the baseline near the basket with his shot and just taking guys off the dribble and, just different things. He really was the guy who was carrying them. And Middleton was having a really hard time being the man for them last night. Like I said, he looked really frustrated by the end of the game. And he also looked like he didn't really expect us to beat them no matter what. Like I think that they got a little ahead of themselves and thought that we would be a real easy pushover. And part of that was like, well, we don't need Giannis tonight. Let him take a rest. But boy, did Giannis look real worried and upset near the end of the game, just seeing how his team performed without him. And that's what Bucks fans are saying this morning. It's like, we need to be a good team without Giannis, because what if we lose Giannis for whatever reason? We need to prove that we can still be a good team. And that's what they're a little bit worried about today, is that without Giannis, they may be in trouble. So let's see. Check out Grayson Allen's dirty play highlight videos. He doesn't have like good play highlight videos. He just has dirty play highlight videos. I could see that. He looks like a little punk. I don't know. Sue, I've been so frustrated with the refs this year. I emailed Adam Silver. She emailed Adam Silver. That's amazing. I love that. Oh my gosh. If we get enough people up here in Canada emailing Adam Silver, maybe things will change. I got his assistant to write me back with a bunch of BS about how they are fair. I wrote him back last night after. That's amazing, Sue. I love you. I think you're amazing for writing Adam Silver and actually getting a response from them. They're like, oh, no, we're fair. You're wrong. Oh my gosh, that's the best. If we get like 1,000 more Raptor fans to do this may get some traction here. I mean, oh my gosh, that's amazing, Sue. I love that so much. Paul B., I trolled. Okay, you guys are way ahead of me, so I'm gonna have to look out where I am. I'm gonna have to speed up too. I trolled my Bucks fan coworker to wear my Van Vliet jersey during his sportscast on TV about the game. That's hilarious. Oh, that's hilarious. Are you working TV, Paul? Is that what you're saying there in this one, that you're a sportscast or something? Oh my gosh, that's great. Yeah, that I like trolling other teams for other fans. Each team has a friend of mine that is a fan of that team. Like there's all these people from my past and history, and I know at least one fan of each team. And my Bucks friend is also a big Green Bay, and he's all the Wisconsin teams. He's families from Wisconsin and stuff like that. He's actually one of my closest friends down in Florida. But yeah, I love trolling other teams' people too. Like when we get a chance to. Sue told them to rewatch the game. Tell the NBA to watch the game. Yeah. I mean, I love that, Sue. Seriously. I mean, I might have to consider this. If you can give me the information, I might write them something too, because I didn't even think of that possibility. Why not? Write your Congress people and tell them what's wrong with the country. Write the NBA and tell them what's wrong with the league. Josh Giddey from OKC was Rookie of the Month in the West, and their record is bad. Ooh, that's a good point, G. Josh Giddey won Rookie of the Month for the West, and their record is not good. It's worse than ours. Yeah, that's a good point. That Mobley decision is little. I mean, all right. Well, like I said, who wants these accolades? They're bullshit anyway. Let's just win, and let's just prove them wrong and overcome it all. Darren, I watched the second half tonight, saw the first half. Good God, what an ending. Pascal passed so well and defended well. So happy to see real effort. Yeah. It was really good to see all-around effort from everybody. And Pascal really did go all out on defense last night. Like in a way, he kind of was OG for us last night. He really did the OG kind of stuff for us. And he still managed to do really well offensively also. He got some really good close baskets and high percentage stuff. He shot 9 for 18. That's 50%. That's really good. 8 rebounds, 4 assists, a block. He did have 6 turnovers, though. I don't like that. But, Pascal really did good. Darren, we miss Birch. We miss OG. The bloody refs. I've had enough. Yeah. I mean, Kem will really help. OG will really help. But that's the great thing. We get these guys back. Hopefully they go into the starting lineup, and guys come into the bench, and the bench just gets better and better. I'm still on this Scotty goes to the bench and Precious goes to the bench kick. That's what I want to see when these two come back. Scotty's spot gets taken by OG, and Precious' spot gets taken by Kem. But the Kem thing isn't as important. Precious can start. It's just we need one of them in the starting lineup for sure. But I prefer Kem just because he's got more time and Precious is still raw. And Precious missed a lot of bunnies that Kem probably would make right now. So it is what it is. All right. Yes, Darren, the enthusiasm, saying hey to everybody. I love it. Okay. Wow. 2,000. That's a lot. I didn't realize I had that many. Crowd was yelling at the refs. Need to keep on them every game. Yeah, ref, you suck. Ref, you suck. Ref, you suck. It's so good, man. The crowd really was a good crowd last night. But I think that sometimes it's the time of the week. Like a Thursday night, that's the day before the Friday, which is the weekend. People are up on a Thursday night. People are up on a Friday night. But on a Sunday night, no, they're ready to go to sleep. Or in the middle of the week, it can be tough too. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday can be a little bit tough too. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday night at the Scotiabank Arena, that's a good night to be on the home crowd. And that's where our home crowd will be a little bit more alive and awake. And I love that. Yeah. And we should be on them for that because it was true. Anytime you see too many free throws in the last couple minutes of the game, and especially for one team, that's definitely rep manipulation. That's definitely ref manipulation because they could be calling those calls any kind of which way they wanted to. I'm a fun guy. Last year, they got lucky too against Nets. I'm not sure who you're talking about. Maybe the Bucks or maybe us. We got lucky against the Nets. We beat good teams. We can come and rise up to the occasion. We match up really well with Milwaukee. That's part of it. And without Giannis, it's even easier. Oh my gosh. Paul B. Bucks are going to miss Brook Lopez, but they are undefeated with their big three in the lineup. So I think they'll be there at the end. That's interesting. Like Brook Lopez had major surgery this week on his back. He's not going to be around for the whole year, probably. I don't even know if he'll come back for the playoffs this year. And that's part of the reason why they got DeMarcus Cousins. But, I don't know. It's really hard to say what's going to happen with all these different teams. Like if you look at last night, if they miss Giannis for any extended period this year, there's going to be some trouble with the Milwaukee Bucks and their record and where they end up. There's no given that they're going to be up there near the top, especially if they're missing a key player like they did last night. I really see that we may have exposed them without Giannis. They're in big trouble. And that may be what they're talking about today as a team with their coaches and stuff like that. It's like, we're in trouble without Giannis. Marlon Toby, good morning, man. Good to see you, dude. Yeah, really appreciate the crowd for calling out the refs, putting pressure on them with those foul calls at the end to try and give Milwaukee that win without Giannis. Yeah, that it sucks. And I saw it about like halfway through the fourth quarter, and I saw that they had it was the team fouls, and they only had one team foul on them, and we had 4 already. So it was just like they're putting them in the bonus early, so that they're going to be able to get free throw shots, and we'll get fouled, and they'll say, oh, it's to the side still because they don't have enough team fouls yet to where we're in the bonus. And that really is a dirty little manipulative on the slide kind of way that they can manipulate things at the end. It's like, well, they're going to get the free throws because they're in the bonus, but you're not. So thank God that none of it mattered. And that's the thing. We got to make sure that we overcome all this, and we can't use those as excuses. Even though we know that there are something that is happening, we have to identify, yeah, this is happening, but we can't use it as an excuse. It's just more of what we have to overcome. It might as well be a 6th player on the court is the referees. We got the Bucks and then the referees, but it's just part of the landscape. As I said, I'm not going to say this is going to change at any point. Who knows? Maybe it'll get better for us. Maybe over the years and decades, we'll get more respect as a team and it'll happen better for us. But this is just how it is. And our team has had success in this environment already. So that's why I don't take it as an excuse. It's because we've overcome it at different times with different groups and different places. And we just need to do that all over again. And it's really, in some ways, this is why our players do so well when they go to other teams, is because in some ways, Norman was getting these kind of unfairness here. And now he goes to Portland, maybe he gets more of a fair shake. And then boom, all of a sudden he looks like amazing or something like that in some ways, because he's not being saddled in some ways by the refs in different ways. So that, it makes our guys tested and strong from having to go through this. It's not easy. Darren, I'm hoping, oh my gosh, it just jumped like crazy. I'm hoping that we actually win a few in a row. Pascal needs to put that effort in every game from now on. Scotty did well. He really was important to that win. The Achua block, yeah, that block was phenomenal. And it was right at near the end of the game. Precious had a weird little sequence at the end of the game where he missed those 2 free throws right at the end of the game. And I was like, Precious. But he missed that second one so badly that it really worked out. Like Scotty tipped it back out and we got the ball back and then we made a shot. So that worked out really, really well. And I thought in a way that they were kind of doing the same thing with their free throws, that they missed the third one. That 3-point foul was so stupid. When we put Middleton on the line near the end of the game and he got 3 free throws, that was bullshit. And he missed the last one. And I think he did that on purpose because they were trying to get like 4 points out of that possession. But then we got a stupid foul on Portis anyway, and they had to go back to the line anyway. It was a lot of that. And that is exactly when the refs started hearing it from the crowd, is right around then, is because it did look fishy. It looked fishy as fuck, but it didn't matter. And that Achua block was really late and really crucial. Really crucial. So Precious played really well. And it's funny too, because they did the press conference with Precious after the game, and somebody kind of asked him about like how was the pressure at the game, the free throws and stuff like that. He's like, I just missed it. I didn't make the shot. He's like, it wasn't a big deal to him. And then when Nick got asked about Precious at the end of the game, he said, I thought Precious did great. Precious played amazing defense and stuff like that. And just totally ignoring the shooting for him last night. And because he did shoot pretty bad last night. Again, he's 3 for 8. That's better than the one before. But 8 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds. That's fantastic. Precious is doing it, man. He's really good. I love Precious being on this team so much. No wonder Kyle was always in the refs. So much makes so much sense. Yeah, some of this stuff, I don't think Kyle was really annoying the refs too much, or they didn't like him. But there is a certain level of politics you got to do on the court with these refs. And I think Fred's doing a great job, because it seems like when he talks to them, he's really kind of saying things like, from what I can tell, he's saying things, I would like y'all to be consistent. If you could be consistent with your calls, because like you're calling one thing on this end of the court for them, and then you're calling one thing on us this way, and it's just not consistent. Isn't this league supposed to be fair and consistent? And that's the kind of stuff he's saying to them. And that's the kind of stuff that maybe makes them think, well, maybe I do need to be a little more fair in different ways. And then they may get the benefit of the doubt in some of the calls. It really is politicking. And if you kind of don't do it, you will get shat on. You will not get calls. So you really do need to kind of influence the refs in a way to let them see that maybe they are being biased, and to try and make them, because it's not really about them being totally fair. It's about the appearance of looking like they're being fair. And that's what they were trying to say to Sue. So, no, we're fair. It's the appearance of being fair. It's not necessarily that they really are fair, but really, in all actuality, how hard it would be, so hard to be exactly right down the middle and completely fair in some way with that job. So there is, I don't know. It's tough. I don't want to blame the refs, but the refs will be a factor at times, and hopefully it won't happen too much to us. We can just overcome it all. Let's see. Hola, Toby. From Darren. Ty T, good morning, man. Glad to see you. Refs likely in people's pockets to affect wins, spreads, etc. Dirty, but doubt they have a choice. Likely there are threats to family safety involved. Jeez. He sounds crazy for saying like this kind of stuff, but this is actually partly true. The whole Tim Donaghy scandal, the mafia is majorly involved. Like the Scott Foster is making his bets with the mafia. And he's making money for the mafia, because he's not the only one who's making these bets. He's involved with mafioso, and they're making the bets with him and getting the inside line, the inside track with them. That's the whole mechanism of it all. And the mob is definitely involved in the NBA betting scandal. This is something that they don't like talking about. They just wanted to go away because of Tim Donaghy. They said Tim Donaghy was the only guy. He's the fall guy. He was the one, even though he's too stupid to have ran the whole operation. There's no way that Tim Donaghy ran that whole operation. The people that ran that operation have either retired since or are still in the league right now. And it is all involved in organized crime. And there could be some down low storylines where there are threats towards family and things like that, like Ty is describing, because this kind of shit does happen in real life. It's not just on The Sopranos. There are real mafia in New York and New Jersey that have been making money off the NBA for decades illegally in this kind of way. They brag about having referees in their pocket. The mafia families. There's like, oh yeah, we've got Scott Foster in our back pocket, stuff like that. That's the shit that's going on. And they do control them. It may be that Scott Foster can't get out of it, because he's in it. Oh, he's in it. Is there only one way out? Or, you stick with it because you can't go against the family, right? That's what they're saying. So there could be some truth to what Tai T's saying. This is one thing, man. I'm crazy. I'll speculate. I'll say this kind of stuff. There may not be any truth to what I'm saying, but you know what? The possibility is there. There is some partial evidence that this is true and real. The Whistleblower podcast did some good investigative reporting and went down that trail that Tim Donaghy talks about, and they found the mafia along the way. Oh yeah, you listen to that series, Whistleblower podcast, about Tim Donaghy and the referee betting scandals and stuff like that. You will hear the whole layout of the whole organization and how it's going down, and it is involved in the mafia. So what Tai T's saying is, they may come after me because I'm talking about it. Ooh. All right, let's see. Yeah, everybody, let's get Sue to post the email for Adam Silver's office, and let's just all bombard him. But you know what? Let's pick our time, not after a win like this. Let's pick it when it's very egregious, when they have really stolen a game from us, when the refs have really done that to us. Then we'll get on them really good. And we'll put the bat signal out, and we'll all just get on our computers and write some really nasty emails to Adam Silver. In a game, after a game where they do cost us a game, where it is evident that they did that. But let's save our shot, because last night was not the game to get mad about. No, it's not. OKC lost by 73 points last night. I know. And who beat them? Who did that? It wasn't John Morant. It was that team that just came and saw us here in Toronto, Memphis. Dillon Brooks, who owns our house now. Well, it looks like he went and gone. He owns the Oklahoma City Thunder now too. This is insane. That score was nuts. At a certain point, there's sportsmanship, guys. This is like a football game where the other team just runs up 100 points on the other team, and the coach is like, why'd you do that to us? It's just not right. Bobby Bowden used to get accused of running up scores all the time in the heyday of FSU football, because we would run up the score, beat people by 60 points and stuff like that, and they would be like, it's not fair of you to run up the score and stuff like that. Where was that last night with the Oklahoma City game in Memphis? Holy cow. And they did that without John Morant. And you know what was a weird thing? I looked at that box score, and it wasn't even their starters. It was all their weird bench guys came into the game, and they all scored 20 points. It was really crazy, honestly. So I don't feel as bad about losing to Dillon Brooks and the way we did earlier this week, because look what they did at OKC. This is nasty. I mean, that's historic. That's never happened in the NBA. That kind of a margin like that, getting to 150 points and holding the other team to 70 points. That's insane. Nobody does that. I honestly, it's crazy. I mean, I couldn't believe that either. I thought it was so crazy. Okay, Sue says that our contact with the NBA office, her name is Ashley. So if we message them and you hear from Ashley, we'll see what's up. Callie, good morning. Glad you made it today too. Great game. I was worried at the end. Fred showed up, but worried if he keeps attacking the paint, he'll get hurt. Rather have Pascal or Scotty doing that. Yeah. I want to see Scotty do more at the end of the game. They really haven't even tried to get him the ball at the end of the game in a pressure clutch situation that much yet. He's really just kind of making his shots during the game. And then at the end of the game, it really has Pascal, OG, or Fred kind of taking over and trying to carry us near the end. And, thank God Fred had it last night. If he hadn't been making his shot, we might not have won this game last night. And Pascal, he did little things here and there to really keep us going and calm. And, he really got to the basket really well at times, with his spins and different things like that. And he really recognized when to take that mid-range, really quick popper. And that shot looks so good. In fact, I think it looks better than his layups. Once again, I'm saying our mid-range looks better in certain players than it does good and close to the basket. Whether it's Pascal, Fred, Gary, Precious, these guys shooting 10 feet away from the basket instead of going all the way to the basket looks like a higher percentage shot right now, because there's a no man's land in there with other teams' defense where they're not getting to us in the middle. And Pascal's so good with that shot. The way he was hit, he just looks so automatic from that range. If he's open, there's nobody near him. So, oh man, yes. I want to see Scotty be clutch later. Refs point shaving, it's not even point shaving at this point. They do that though sometimes. They really do. It's really withholding or giving free throws. That's how they can really manipulate it, like really minutely. Is like they give the other team an extra free throw somehow. It could be as stupid as like an illegal defense call, and they get a technical, and they get 1 point shot just for that. Like that call can be made just to give that, or not giving us foul shots. That's shaving, not giving us or giving them extra or something like that. Different ways they can do it. DeMar used to get affected by the refs too much, but now our guys are used to it. And it doesn't affect them. They just know that this is part of it. I think it's part of the coaching at this point is just like, we know that they're going to do this. And even in the press conferences after the game, nobody will say outright what's happened with that. Like the reporters try and hint at it and try and get Fred or Nick to say something about the refs, and they never take the bait. But it's all there and underlying. If you listen to the interview with Nick Nurse last night, there's a point where they're talking about it a little bit, and Nick doesn't go so far to say what he thinks he wants to say. But what he was going to say is, the refs are doing a little bit of something with the free throws at the end of the game. Oh, yeah. But he doesn't want to lose money. He doesn't want to fine. So that's part of it. But DeMar, that was part of his maturation. And it really was, he went through the fire, figuring out how the refs were going to call fouls for him. And that's why he's one of the guys who leads the league in getting to the foul line now, is because he really perfected and honed that like minute little, like, well, they have to call it if I do this and they hit me on my arm this way, or, this kind of stuff. He really has perfected his movement and the way he goes to the basket so that he'll get the foul calls. But in the beginning, when he was here, they did not give him jack shit. And he had to go through the fire to get to that point. It really wasn't accrued and earned respect with the calls. Chua, gonna be a double machine as he grows in the position. Man, precious. I called him ferocious Achua last night at one point when he had that dunk and just some of the other things he was doing last night. And he's so quiet off the court. Like he's doing his interview and I'm listening to him. I mean, this guy is so chill. It's like, come on, man. It's like, how does he get up and show any of this aggressiveness and stuff on the court when his personality is just so low key and so chill? I don't know. He's great. He's doing great. I know he's going to continue to grow as a player, and we're going to see more and more fantastic things from him and Scotty and Delano and different things. This is going to be amazing, man. Oh yeah, he's still playing hard. Yep. Paul B, I wonder who the officials were for that Magic beating the Nuggets game 2 days ago. I don't know. It's always good to see and look and see where the crews are and which crews are which and stuff like that. But that's good that Magic beat the Nuggets. That's a thing. Any team can beat any team on any given night. That really is true in this league. And we proved it last night. Like Bucks fans were probably like, this is an easy win. Oh, Giannis isn't playing. It's still an easy win. But no, it wasn't. We got you. All right, let's see. Let's go, Darren. All right. Let me see one more time. Let's see. So when do the Raps really turn the corner this year, Lexi? I think we're getting close. That we really need to string something together on this homestand. And it may be on Sunday. We want to see them build off of this win against Milwaukee. We don't want to see them revert back to looking like, they don't know what they're doing and they're all disorganized and stuff like that. We want to see them build off of this game last night. We need to see that kind of offensive synergy in passing between each other. We need to see them making open shots. We need to see them have a consistent defensive effort throughout the whole 48 minutes and also limit the second chance shots for the other team. And Washington, we've seen them twice this year. They beat us really bad the opening game of the season, and then we got some revenge against them the second time we played them in Washington. But we need to continue to build our home court record better. We need to get a fourth win in Toronto on Sunday, and we need to really, it'd be great if we got OG back for Sunday. That these would just help. Because Gary coming back last night did really help. It helped open things up and made the offense move a lot better. Just having him out there, even if he wasn't hitting his shot, just having him out there helped open things up and made things easier for everybody else. So I don't know. This home trip, this home stand could really define some things for us and get us going in the right direction going into the new year. So we really need to keep winning. We need to keep winning. Washington's the next one up. Then, OKC, New York. I think we play Sacramento is another one of the games. So a lot of these games are easy and we can get them. Not easy, but they're gettable. They're gettable games. And so I think that the corner, we could turn it at least with our offense and showing like some sort of like competency like we did last night, continuing on that. And it's just going to get nastier and nastier for other teams. Like us in transition is going to be so scary. Us, when we finally get Scotty going as an offensive weapon in all his ways, they're not going to be able to guard us because they're going to have to choose between, if we have Pascal, OG, and Scotty out there, who are they going to double? Somebody's not going to get doubled, and they're going to have to do it. And we get really good at passing out the doubles, and the other guys are having an easier shot because the other two guys are out there with them. It's going to be nasty. And that's really what we should be seeing, like at some point, that Pascal, Scotty, and OG and Fred, they all make each other have an easier time because they all are kind of all threats, and they all need to be thought of and taken care of on defense by the other team. So there's not enough guys on the other team to be able to guard all those guys. So that's what we got to figure out, the math. Where do we get the guy who can beat the other guy one-on-one because they're doubling down on other two guys? And right now it may be Scotty. They're playing off Scotty because he's unproven, untested, and that's why he needs to really go at him and do some of the stuff he's been showing lately more and more, whether it's threes or backing guys down and just shooting over guys down in the low post. That stuff is beautiful so far. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Refs beat the over. Andrew, that's the joke of the day. Refs beat the over in the OKC Grizzlies game. That's hilarious, man. I mean, what kind of over? I mean, at a certain point, if you beat them by a certain amount, you get triple your winnings for making that bet or something like that? There's got to be some sort of like stratosphere or something like that if you hit, you just get a pile of money. Like, oh, you know what? They beat them by 73. Here's everything. It's like, do we need Kem and OG back first, or will we do it without them? I think we can start doing it without them, but I'd like to get them back as soon as possible. Like, Kem is such an important part of this team. Like, honestly, we're playing without a center when we don't have Kem. And OG is just like everything, like both ends of the court, everything. He's premium at both sides in that position, and we need him. So I think we're doing it already. We started, I think last night is kind of like not totally the corner, but it's the signs of maybe possibly starting to turn the corner. And we'll see. We'll see. It's really going to be the record. We got to pay attention to the record. When we get to 500 and then up back over 500, then I'll say we turn the corner. But the momentum's starting to shift and go that way right now. I think I feel that after last night. Paul, when Svi starts hitting shots again, maybe the games won't be as tight. Yeah, this is the thing. We hit open shots, that margin's a lot wider and better. The cushion's easier and a lot more less stressful for the Raptor fan at home who's watching the game, and like that margin's only like 5 points, and you're like, oh my gosh, they could do this. They come back and they hit a three and this and this and this. And so, yeah. So it's like we get these open shots. We get more of the stuff that we've been doing really well, whether it's transition, fast break points, get more of those, and keep these margins nice and wide, because that's what I've always said historically. This is with the refs involved. We have to have a 10-point cushion at least in the fourth quarter, or the refs will try and mess with us with manipulation. That we always need to build that. And the lead wasn't big enough last night for my own comfort. That I was like, no, this isn't a big enough lead. They're really in striking danger. And the way we've been giving up leads so easily over the last 10 games is I really thought that might be what was going to happen last night. But thank God it didn't. Thank God it didn't. That we didn't have like a total just fall apart and then lose the game right at the end of the game. That would have really sucked. Really would have. This was really important that we close this game out. And it does say something that it's against the champs, with or without Giannis, because they're the champs, and they should have had the mentality that like we can beat a bad team at their home even without our best player. Because in some ways we're still a bad team. We've got good players and stuff like that, but we're not necessarily a good team together as a collective yet. So, because we're making too many mistakes and there's too many problems still. All right, guys, let's go, Darren. Let's go, Sue. Let's go, Andrew. Let's go, Ty T, Marlon, everybody. Let's go, G. We got the Zards, and we're going to hit them in the nards on Sunday. Tomorrow, guys. All right, 9:30 a.m. Raptors trivia, Raptor Freak trivia once again, because it's the second day off. I don't know what the category is or anything. I'll throw that together today. But yeah, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time sharp. I will be here doing the trivia. Let's add to your points. I think G is the leader in the trivia right now. And we've also got like Sue up there and Steve Sleeve and a couple other players that are here. Darren, you're still a 0, I believe. So yeah, tomorrow trivia at 9:30 a.m. If any of y'all are interested, just look out for my live stream, 9:30 a.m. sharp. And I'll have a board of 10 Raptors so you guys can guess for points. And then on Sunday, we'll preview the Wizards game. Okay. Yeah, we beat the champs. We beat the champs. We beat the champs. I love this. Paul's putting in an early answer. Jamario Moon. That's wrong, Paul. That's a strike. Okay, guys. Have a great weekend, everybody. Paul, have a good time sleeping in. And, Darren, if you can see us tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Jakarta time, please be there so you can get some points. I don't like seeing you goose egg. I want you to get off the snide and get in the game, buddy. And go Raptors. I'm wearing my Champions hat. I'm wearing my Champions shirt because we beat the champs yesterday. The less purple you see on me, the more I'm feeling good. You see more black on me during the show, that means we're heading in the right direction. If I'm wearing purple, that means I'm feeling bad about us because that means I'm reverting back to the earlier Raptor freak from the earlier times. So, all right, guys. Great Friday, guys. Great weekend. Just enjoy life. Like, make the best of it. Feel gratitude. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Yeah, just look at the good things in your life. Raptors winning, whatever it is in your life. Somebody special in your life that really does good things and makes you feel loved and that kind of stuff. Just really show some appreciation this weekend because that's where the source of happiness is from gratitude and realizing what you got. Because sometimes we look past all the best things in our life. And we really need to key on those because those are the things that are the best things in life. We just don't realize it. We don't pay enough attention. Yes, hug your loved ones.